Let's talk about The Colors Within. The Colors Within is a movie that was on my radar because it is directed by Naoko Yamada, who directed A Silent Voice, which was an interesting look into loneliness, bullying, and isolation, and it did in such a creative and very emotional way. So, seeing this movie and the critical praise it's getting, I was really intrigued to see what brand new perspective she could brought with this film here. First thing you're going to notice in the movie is that it is gorgeously animated. It's a beautiful movie to look at. It flows really well. The colors are vibrant. There are a lot of really well animated sequences in this movie. It does a concept with where one of the main characters can see people's auras, essentially. I do wish they played around with that concept a little bit more because supposedly every character has a color that the main character can kind of see and it relates to something else. However, it's not really well explored in this movie, and I wish it was something that it played around with a little bit more because there were some cool animated sequences, especially in the beginning, that it kind of explained how her quote unquote like abilities kind of work. At the core of this movie, it is about friendship. It is about these three individual misfits who kind of find a common ground in music and form a band together. It's sort of this slice of life movie where each one of them has an issue that they're dealing with, either being isolation, not knowing which pathway to take, and hiding your true self from your family, and then forging their own path to where they need to go and who they want to be. In theory, it's a really cool idea that the movie kind of toys with, and there are some genuinely great emotional moments, especially towards the end of the movie, where you really cheer for these guys when everything kind of starts falling into place. But for the majority of the movie, they just kind of go on and do meandering things here and there, and it doesn't really add to the overall story. It does kind of do a little bit of world building, but it doesn't show you that bond that these three should have, especially when it finally gets to that third act. I wish they explored their friendships a little bit more, the trials and tribulations of that. It does kind of dabble in them being truthful to themselves and to their people, like their friends and their parents, but it doesn't really play with it that much, and there ultimately isn't much consequences or like strife in their whole life. The best way I can describe this movie is a cute movie. It's a fun little romp that you can enjoy, put on, and you can kind of ease your days and worries just by enjoying the visuals and some of the cute storytelling here. It does have a really cool soundtrack, especially at the end. I did enjoy the music, but overall, it's just a very slow-paced movie that doesn't really add much. Aside from really cool visuals and a decent soundtrack at the very end. Because there is a lot of ideas here that they could have explored, but they don't flesh it out much. I think this movie would have worked much better as like a full-fledged anime with maybe like 13 episodes or something, where they could have delved like deeper into each of their problems, their relationships with each other, their relationships with their parents, without it feeling like everything was trying to be tackled, but so half-heartedly. I will say it's a decent watch. I did enjoy it. I just didn't love it.